guys, welcome to Yoga with me, Yoga Kit. Today I'll be taking you through a short sequence that's a runner's stretch. So since we've been in lockdown, I've been doing quite a lot of running, and I've really noticed that my body's needing a really good stretch afterwards, kind of all over, even the shoulders and the back. So for those of you who have been doing the same, just to kind of get your daily exercise / get outside, hopefully this will work out for you. So let's start by bringing ourselves down to the mats. So let's bring ourselves into a child's pose. So bringing the knees as wide as the mat, and then just starting to walk the hands forwards, just making the pose quite active, so where it's usually quite passive, lowering the forehead down, pushing the hands into the mat, and really pushing the hands away from you just to feel that stretch through the shoulders, through the back, all the way down the spine, down towards the tailbone, just drawing that tailbone down towards the heels, just really feeling that nice, lovely kind of release. Even through the sides, and still maintaining the breath, that deep breath, inhaling through the nose, and exhaling, just feeling the expansion through the chest. Drawing the belly button in, maybe working the seat a little bit further towards the heels, just lengthening through the spine. You can even engage through the bum cheeks in this pose, just to kind of intensify the stretch. Lovely, one more breath here, and starting to bring yourself up and finding either two blocks or two things that kind of mirror this, or essentially same shape and size, and just taking the blocks so they're maybe a little bit wider than shoulder width, bringing the knees to be hip width and sort of making sure they're parallel, and then bringing your elbows onto your blocks, bringing the hands into prayer, and then allowing the hips to kind of tip backwards, lowering the chest, lowering the head, and just keeping the hands above the head in prayer, just feeling that nice opening sensation and that stretch through kind of the back, the shoulders, through the neck. Again, just releasing any tension, any tightness that you might have acquired whilst running, which I have. This has actually really worked really well for me. And you can even intensify by moving the hands forwards and backwards, moving them behind the head and then up. Just feeling it working into the shoulders, the traps. Just working with that breath, maintaining and holding it. Can you work through it? Lovely, one more breath here, and then releasing, just moving those blocks to the side. Just coming into your frog pose. So in frog pose, you want to take the knees out fairly wide and flexing through the feet so they're facing sort of out towards the sides. Drawing kind of the hips down, coming onto your forearms, and then drawing the tailbone and the bottom towards the heels. So we're feeling that intense stretch through the inside of the thighs. And it doesn't matter if you can't get your bottom, your tailbone, etc. down towards the heels. It's just as long as you feel the stretch, then you're all good. And just breathing into it, just staying with that lovely breath. One more breath here. And then coming up to your all fours just for a second, and taking that right leg out behind you, coming into your tiger pose. So pushing into the ball of the right foot, pushing the right heel back, and just maintaining that lovely stretch through the back of the right leg, engaging through the left thigh, the left glute, to still kind of maintain that integrity in the pose. Spreading through the shoulder blades, protecting the spine, pushing back. And then on the next breath, drawing that right foot in between the hands, and then starting to work kind of the hips forwards and backwards, maybe shuffling the left knee a little bit further back. Again, just working into the back of the right leg. Just really feeling that nice stretch. And then coming into your low lunge, so allowing the right knee to track over the right ankle, placing the hands on top of the right knee, left knee is down, and then hinging forwards, just feeling that nice stretch through the front of the left leg and through the right hip and the right glute. And take the hands behind the back, opening up the chest, just feeling a gentle stretch, gentle back bend through the spine. And you can even intensify the stretch by taking that left hand down onto the mat, working the right foot out towards the side of the mat, maybe taking that left leg even further back, opening up through that right hip, so the right knee is kind of now tracking towards the side, and you can hold here, or you can bend the left knee, taking the right hand back to the left foot, and hold. So it's a nice deep stretch through both of the thighs, the right hip. You can take the gaze back. Then exhaling to release. Taking the hands to frame that right foot again. And then being on the ball of your left foot, straightening out your right leg, taking your hips and your bottom back towards your left heel. Again, just feeling that nice stretch through the back of the right leg. You can even bring the bottom down onto the mat, just keeping that left leg kind of curled round and tucked in to the side. Inhaling to stretch up, exhaling to hinge forward, taking the hands either around the right foot to the right ankle, or just to bring them down to the floor. Just maintaining the integrity in the pose, keeping the chest open. If you want to come up onto the fingertips, if that's a little bit sort of more accessible for you, then that's fine. And then bringing yourself back up. Lovely. And we'll repeat on the other side. So now pushing your left foot into the mat, ball of the left foot, making sure that you're pushing that left heel away from you, spreading the fingers nice and wide, making sure that they're underneath your shoulders, engaging through that left leg. Just using your own body's resistance to really push into and stretch that left hamstring. Engaging through the glutes, engaging through the thighs. Just taking the gaze forward, having a nice long spine. And then gently releasing, bringing that left foot into the middle of the hands, working your right knee back just a little bit, and then we'll start to hinge forwards and backwards, this time into the left hamstring, just flexing and releasing. Taking the toes of the left foot into the air to find that deeper stretch through the back of the left leg. And then coming up into your low lunge. So making sure that your left knee is tracking over your left ankle, placing your hands onto the top of your left knee and hinging yourself forward, really releasing into your hips. Feeling that nice stretch through sort of the left hip, left glute, and also through the front of the right thigh. And again, you can take the hands behind the back, opening up on the inhale through the chest. And again, you can kind of intensify the pose by taking your right hand down onto the mat, working that left foot out towards the edge of the mat, taking that right leg, just a little bit further behind you and opening up through the left hip. So that left knee is now tracking out to the side. With your left hand, you can draw that around the back, taking hold of the right foot and holding here. Again, just breathing into the pose, just relaxing into it. Just really feeling that nice stretch. If you can't get here, if you're here, that's absolutely fine. Just again, work towards your edge, work towards what feels right. As long as it feels like it's stretching, then you're doing a great job. Then taking the hands either side of that left foot again, coming onto the ball of the right, exhaling, drawing the left hip back, flexing through the left foot. Maybe even taking your bottom down onto the mat, remembering to kind of Bend and curl that right knee, that right sort of lower part of the right leg round behind us. Flexing through the left foot. Inhaling to stretch up. Exhaling to hinge forward. Taking the hands this time either around your left foot, around the left ankle to the floor, or you can even use a strap if that's what's in your practice today. Just finding again that nice stretch, that nice engagement through the left leg, taking the gaze to the toes on the left foot. Just holding here for another breath. Lovely. Then bringing yourself back up to your all fours, tucking the toes and moving into your Malasana squat. So in Malasana we want to plant the feet firmly onto either the floor, or we can place a block, a couple of blocks underneath the heels, just to make sure that we've got something to push into. So whatever it is you're kind of pushing into, just making sure that your elbows are pushing into the inside of the knees, bringing the hands into prayer at heart center. Draw that tailbone down and roll the thighs outwards to find that nice deep stretch. Opening through the chest. This is a really great kind of all over stretch. Great engagement for the core, great engagement for the lower part of the body. And you can actually hold here for as long as you feel is suitable. If you want to move out, starting to take the hands in front of us and moving into our downward facing dog. So taking the legs behind, making sure that feet are hip width, hands are shoulder width. Straightening through the arms, exhaling, drawing the head through, relaxing, taking the gaze to the back of the room, maybe even bending the knees if you need to. Drawing the belly towards the thighs. And inhaling to take the gaze forward, softly stepping your right foot in between the hands, and then turning to face the long edge of the mat, allowing the feet to kind of angle inwards. Inhaling to lengthen forwards from the base of the spine to the top of the head, and then as we exhale, we hinge forward from the hips, making sure that the feet, the weight is evenly distributed between the front and back of the feet, feeling that nice stretch through the back of the legs. You can use a block here to support, or just bringing the hands onto the mat, lowering the head, just getting the blood, that nice rush of blood all the way to the head, drawing the elbows back. And again, you can hold here as long as you like. We can inhale to straighten through the arms, rotate to frame through that right foot, inhaling to draw that left foot to meet the right, inhaling to lengthen through the legs, take the gaze forward, exhaling, falling forward, now bringing the chest towards the thighs, lowering through the head. You can bend the knees here if we need to. And then inhaling to lengthen, straighten out through the body, take the arms all the way up and over the head. Inhaling to reach up, feeling the stretch through the torso, through the ribs, through the back. And exhaling to gently release, bringing the hands to the side. Thank you everybody for joining me today in that lovely runner stretch. Hopefully it's worked for you as it did for me. I'll see you again next time. Namaste.